The Rockets are road tripping into this interconference contest. Hello again, everybody. It's Monday Night Basketball. Kevin Harlan, Clark Kellogg, and Steve Kerr here, bringing you the NBA on 2K Sports. They're just off a road trip in the Heat are looking to settle back in here at home. A great start of the season for them, playing very well so far.
You know, this team has really wasted no time in making a strong statement. I mean, you look at the way they flowed on offense. They're in good rhythm. Everybody understands their roles. And defensively, they're playing with an aggressiveness that you like to see.
Well, it's exactly the tone they wanted to set for the season. Guys, things could not have started any better for them. They've already let every other team know that they are not going to be an easy opponent.
And the Houston Rockets starting five. Garrett in at point guard. Terrence Williams is out there with Odom. Then there's Martin, and it's Scola in at the five. And for Miami, Wade and LeBron are the wingmen. Chris Bosh is out there with Hill, and it's House in at the point guard. Now here is Hill. And here's Wade. Williams gets the reach-in call. That's his first foul.
That's a quick foul to pick up here in the opening quarter.
Here's Bosh. Now the dish to House. Outside Hill. 6 to shoot. Odom gets whistled for blocking. That is his first foul of the game.
Spoelstra was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing, and he was tasked with getting three huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
House the pass to LeBron. Three-pointer gets it to go. LeBron's now got the first bucket of the night, a three-pointer for the Heat. Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. The basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs, but in the end, I think Erik Spoelstra did a fantastic job, and he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Erik Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
Kevin, he said that defensively he wants his guys to be on their toes all game. He said, I know what we're capable of at that end of the floor, and as long as we don't have a letdown at any point, I'm confident that our defense is too much for their offense. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris. So Clark and Steve, defense, it looks like, coming first for them today.
And while you don't really want to put all of your cookies in one jar, I mean, I think emphasis on defense is a way to go.
Yeah, I'd agree, because if you come out and establish the defense right away, it kind of sets the tone, and you really kind of take control of that game emotionally. And the Rockets last season, 9th in the West, just barely missing the playoffs. And you know, it's tough in the Western Conference, guys. That's the 4th time in 11 years that Houston has won 42 games or more and missed the playoffs.
Here's Wade. A 14-point game for him in the win against Atlanta. Covered by Martin. Bosh kicks to LeBron. And it's Martin picking him up. Oh, that's blocked. But they recover it. 5 to shoot. Hill dishes to LeBron. Over Scola. Excellent D there for Scola. Yeah, respectable, Steve, for the Rockets to win the 43 and still miss the playoffs. I mean, Clark, if they were in the East, and of course it's easy to say, but if they were... Check it out here again with the Sprite Slam Cam.
Boy, that dunk got everybody up off their seat.
Oh, they're loving it, aren't they, Steve?
Well, how could they not? I mean, he put the cherry on top of the sundae on that.
Wade with it, averaging 16 points a game. From past the arc, another miss by LeBron. Houston in the lead.
And you know, guys, with LeBron's size, I don't think he gets the most out of his postgame. It's not something that he's developed down there. He doesn't have a go-to move, not a turnaround jumper or a jump hook. And as a result, he hasn't fully realized his potential yet.
What a recent stretch it's been for these players. They're the NBA's leading scorers over the last 10 games. Well, you look at LeBron James, third in the league. He typically dominates out there. He can seemingly score at will.
Kevin, you know, the season is 82 games long, and anything can happen. But I tell you what, if he keeps scoring like this, the rest of the season is going to look very good for his ball club.
Going back to LeBron and his size, there was talk when he came to Miami, Clark, that he would play, power forward, but is there a position maybe he cannot play?
Well, that's the thing with me, Kevin. His versatility is such that you have a lot of different ways you can utilize him. His size, his speed, his strength, his basketball acumen and IQ, all of that allows you to play LeBron where he can be most effective on a game-to-game basis.
On the wing, Dwayne Wade, covered by Martin. Wade passes to LeBron. Williams picks him up. Stolen by Martin.
Well, I tell you what, it was too congested in there to make that pass.
Good job there. No hesitation taking the ball right to the rack.
You know what, guys? Always the best plan in that situation.
Bosch against Odom. From the top of the key, and that one's good. House. He's got 5, and here's Houston. They're on a 13-5 run.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some panache to it.
That's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
That is, and that will lift the whole team up.
The Heat trail by 5, and the Heat call time here. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season.
Sometimes you worry about a letdown when you play a weaker team, but that didn't happen last year. They handled this team in both games.
Ilgauskas is checked in for Miami. Haslam comes in for Grant Hill. Houston also making some changes. Budinger checks in for Terrence Williams. And it's Lee in for Kevin Martin.
As soon as they forced that turnover, they really attacked the rim. I like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was the highlight of the sequence.
Here is House. He has 5. Passes it to Ilgauskas. Poked away. Lee with the steal.
Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover.
There's the bucket. Good. 10 points for him. The point you made a second ago, Steve, was true. They took them as seriously as they would any other opponent, despite where they stood in their conference.
And we all know it. That's one of the marks of a good team, guys. They don't take anybody lightly. They bring the same focus and intensity to every game.
Here's Garrett. Gets it to fall.
And you have to like the way they've started out offensively.
Yeah, I like the way they've put together basket after basket, consecutive hoops, and as a result, they put together a nice lead here.
And the basket by Scola.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And, Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
LeBron outside. 6 on the shot clock. Looking to end the run. And again, it's the Heat missing.
Not a bad look, though. You like his chances to make that one.
You sure do, but he can't hit them all.
Gets it to go. 14 points for him.
Great start here early on, but they've got to continue to play well to maintain that lead.
Boy, I tell you what, really nice start for him here, guys. Getting after it at both ends of the floor, you got to like that.
13 feet out. No good on that last second attempt there. And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Rockets ahead, up by 15.
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got...
Tune in next Sunday. LaMarcus Aldridge.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. Here's Williams. 15-point game.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosch. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. Bibby and Wade pair up in the backcourt. Haslam's out there with James Jones. And it's Bosch in at the 5. Bibby kicks to Haslam. 4 on the shot clock. Shot from the top of the key. And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist by Haslam. Wade's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Heat. Steve, back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in a win early December against the Cavs.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that. That was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
This team just looking to run at every opportunity.
Circles around them is what they're doing. I mean, pushing the tempo and really enjoying an advantage there.
Teams that make their free throws, they're so tough down the stretch. Let's check out the best. Last game, an incredible scoring display for him.
That was a ferocious Facebook finish.
It's easy to forget he plays the point, isn't it?
Well, he still looks to pass first, but if nothing's there, he will not hesitate to take it up strong to the hoop.
Wade kicks to House. Here's the break. Here's Garrett. He goes up, lays it in off the breakaway. He's got 22.
Boy, this is scary. You get a score rolling like this, you're in some trouble.
Yeah, you can't leave a guy like that on an island. I mean, you got to bring some help.
Odom against Wade. Here's LeBron. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. LeBron's now got 9 points in the quarter.
And you look back at LeBron's arrival in Miami and how it affected Dwayne Wade. Well, his shooting and scoring went down a little bit, but you would expect that with so many weapons offensively. I thought Wade was very efficient and really sacrificed his game.
5 on the clock. Odom backing down over Ilgauskas. The shot by Odom, no good. The Heat trail by 14. You talk about sacrificing his game. It was something that Wade had to do, as well as LeBron and Bosch when they all came together in Miami.
I think it's a major adjustment for all three, maybe more so for Wade and Bosch than LeBron. I think LeBron is comfortable being a facilitator. As a matter of fact, I think he likes that most about playing basketball.
Really?
That's what I seem to see him get the most enjoyment out of. Passing the ball, setting other people up. And his brilliant talent dictates that he has to do more in order for his teams to win. So I think for Bosch, who had been a prominent focal point of the offense for Toronto, and for Wade, who's been unbelievable throughout his career, they probably had to make a bit more of an adjustment than even LeBron did.
You know what's interesting about LeBron with his size and the power he puts in back of every pass, those cross-court passes look effortless, but you need a strong throw to get. And the big-time jam. Let's see it again with the Sprite Slam Cam.
That is just so sweet. I mean, power and skill combined to give us that reverse.
Where do moves like that come from?
Only from players like him, apparently.
Bibby kicks to Wade. Working on Williams. The open look. And Bosch gets it to go on the assist by Wade. 8 points for Chris Bosch.
Look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job of keeping them out of the paint, but you got to give them credit. They're knocking down shots.
Here's Scola. It's rebounded by Bosch.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
And stolen by Scola.
They got to get this game turned around, which will be very difficult if they continue to make mistakes.
Well, guys, I think it's time for them to really refocus on offense. I mean, already in this quarter, they've given away 4 points.
Now Bibby. The three-pointer off the mark.
Couldn't get that three-pointer to fall. Trying to respond.
So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. Live from Miami, we're back in a moment.
We've made it this far. It's Monday night. Let's cut straight to the HP halftime report. The Houston Rockets in front against the Heat over at American Airlines Arena. No signs of letting up. They're riding high with this hot streak. Phoenix with a loss to the Bobcats at Time Warner Cable Arena.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third.
I like what the Rockets have done with their roster. They've got a lot of talent, but in a league where superstars really put you over the top, that's one thing Houston has not been able to accomplish, finding a star player.
Getting underway in the second half. Here's the 5 for Kevin McHale. Garrett, he's in at point guard. Odom out there with Scola. Then it's Terrence Williams, and it's Martin in at the 2-guard spot. Well, Steve is a GM formerly in this NBA with Phoenix. You know all about that, trying to get other players to come to your team. And last season, the Rockets certainly were in the mix for Carmelo Anthony. They've thrown their hat in the ring, Clark, trying to get some star players down there.
Yeah, they have, but, you know, the right deal just didn't seem to present itself. They've said now they'll try to build around the pieces they have. But with that minutes crunch, no surprise to see them keep trying to land that big-time star.
Outside Hill. Back to Wade. Covered by Martin. And he stepped in the line, so they turn it over.
Rockets ball.
Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. You look at the Nets. Right now they're off to a fast start. First place in the conference. And, of course, there's the Heat, a game and a half away.
Well, you know, looking at Miami, they've done it again this season. Established themselves as one of the league's elite teams.
And, you know, that's really the mark of a great franchise, Clark, when you can do it over and over again, particularly when the expectations are high, because the pressure's on, and all you can do is continue to work and compete and try to perform at the same level you've been at, and that's exactly what this team's doing.
LeBron's shot is good.
Man, he continues to rack up the numbers.
Guys, I tell you what, this is as well-rounded a game as you'll see.
Back to Odom. He's guarded by Hill. Here's Garrett. The Heat trail by 18. Here is House. 5 points in the game. Back to Bosch. He feeds it to House. Shot clock at 6. Here's Wade. And the rebound goes to the Rockets.
Last year, Dwayne Wade up to his usual tricks as he put up another great season, and we've certainly become accustomed to that. He scores, rebounds, and defends.
House kicks to Wade. And here's the fast break. All alone. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
Here's Wade. He has 7. Well, back to Wade for a moment. 25, 5, and 6. Steve, pretty much a standard year for Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, we pretty much take him for granted at this point, and it's a shame because his greatness is just amazing, especially at the offensive end of the floor. And now playing with LeBron and Chris Bosh, what a scary trio for the Eastern Conference to deal with over the next 5-6 years.
Bosh dishes to LeBron. Bosh a screen on Williams. Bosh passes to Wade. And it's Martin picking him up. Wade, he's guarded by Williams. Shot clock at 3. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
It's 3 for 4 field goal shooting here in the third, so offensively they're looking good.
The Rockets making a switch here. Patterson's checked in.
Well, the West has long been considered the stronger of the two conferences in the NBA, but Miami, with its revamped roster, really had no problem beating Western Conference foes last year.
Here is House. 8 points for him. Wade up top. Scola covering. There's the pick. Wade outside. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Wade. LeBron's now got 4 points now in the quarter. You're right, Steve, going back to Miami in the West, 20-10 against that Western Conference. That was kind of a rarity play.
Yeah, Kevin, and if you compare their numbers against the West versus the East, the Heat had a much easier time putting up points against the Western Conference opponents.
Here's Garrett. And a miss there on the triple.
He's laboring out there right now, guys. The shot has not been falling for him this quarter.
Bosch, a screen on Williams. Hangs. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Kevin Martin.
That one on Martin.
You know, the big three in Miami had a tremendous amount of success in year one. They didn't reach the 70-win mark, which I think was crazy for people to be talking about anyway, but they still managed to get 58 of them.
James Jones, who's checked in for Miami. Back to the Heat, 30 of those wins were at home. Very strong team, Steve, in Miami.
Well, that home record was good for 3rd best in the Eastern Conference, and I think they're actually looking to improve on that record this year.
Wade outside. Miami no good on that time either.
That's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
Outside for Martin. The tray. That's good.
Kevin Martin.
Martin's got 10.
Kevin McHale getting back into the league, guys, after a stint as a broadcaster. I mean, that seems the path to go to coaching. Steve, are you headed to the sideline sometime soon? The Rockets felt he was the right guy for the job, and he very well might be.
You kidding me? I work 1 night a week and I got summers off. Why would I ever leave this seat? You got it.
He has 35. Scola, a screen on Jones. In low to Scola. Rebound by the Heat.
Well, you mentioned McHale, Clark, and, you know, with their roster, I think he's a great fit because they have a lot of young post players that can use his tutelage, and I think that's his specialty, Kevin McHale, his ability to relate to young post players and the ability to teach them. He's going to be a big addition for that franchise.
And the shot is good. Scola's got 4 points this quarter.
Man, they have a huge advantage in points in the paint. Look at that.
Oh, and this defense is getting pushed around a bit too much for my liking. They're just not competing at a high enough level here.
Hill kicks to Jones. Wade outside. Misses in close. Rockets leading by 15. Will count, and no good trying to get that one. And here at the end of the 3rd quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Rockets lead by 15.
63.
While we're still getting underway here in the 4th, let's go down to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Doris?
Kevin, the spark in this game, the big push by the Rockets. They picked this defense apart, and each trip down the floor, they've managed to extend the lead. They've exerted control in every facet of this game.
Thanks, Doris. Clark, it was a scoring run that proved extremely important.
Yeah, Kevin, you know what? I think that's exactly when they grabbed this one by the throat, really seized control of it.
And you could see their energy just building as the game went on, and by the end of that run, they really took control of everything.
So with Wade on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. House is out there with Mike Miller, and it's LeBron James. Then there's Joel Anthony, and it's Hill in at the 4. Rockets leading by 13, and the pass to Hayes. Here's Garrett, connects from 13 feet out. 37 points for him.
He's done an outstanding job all game long. Absolutely a great job of finding an opening against the defense.
Anthony with the bucket.
You can always depend on him to put the pass right on the money.
So it's Houston now. They led the game at 1 point by 20. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And the thing that may have won the game for them, I think, was their shot blocking. I mean, they really caused havoc in that paint area.
You know what happens when your shot is being rejected on a regular basis? You start looking around for that shot blocker. And then you become hesitant. And you don't flow confidently with your shot. And that becomes a problem over time.
Well, the Rockets, like a lot of Western teams, really took advantage of their schedule versus the Eastern Conference. They went 18-12 versus Eastern Conference foes.
House kicks to LeBron. Second shot opportunity, and the basket by Hill.
Boy, I like the rugged work on the inside that led to that very easy putback. That's going after it there, guys.
Feeds it to Odom. And Hill over to help. Odom covered by Anthony. Here's Lee outside. That's good. And the Rockets lead by 16. And the Rockets playing against the East. Steve just told us those nice records, those nice wins they had. They really took advantage of that, Clark.
Yeah, they did. The Eastern Conference is tough at the top, but it still has probably almost twice as many bad teams as the West does. I mean, you look at it and you see the number of teams over 500 in the West. There's 2 or 3 teams don't make the playoffs in the West with better than 500 records. And the Rockets know they needed every win they could get, and they didn't overlook anybody for the most part. Well, I tell you what, after turning the ball over so much in the first half, guys, he's really settled down nicely since and doesn't have any turnover since the break.
Aggressive transition game leads to the easy hoop.
Yeah, I love to see these guys just trampolining to the hoop.
Hill. The Rockets pull it in. Skola's got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's the 3. No good. And it's the Heat taking it the other way. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
They struggled to shoot the ball in that game, but they were able to come up with the win. And I thought they did just enough of the little things to get it done.
And guys, I think that speaks to this team's resiliency. I mean, that's something to be proud of when you grind out a win when you haven't played your best.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
And slam down hard. Another look on the Sprite slam cam.
Yeah, easy bucket for him there.
And finish he did. Took it hard to the rim.
Timeout called the Heat.
And obviously, coach doesn't want them giving up all these inside buckets. They need to do a better job of moving their feet, staying in their stance, and keeping their man in front of them.
Everybody know that I'm a come and I'm a go. And I gotta do what I be coming in and do everybody to beat them and the way we giving them a show. Keys to the ignition and step on the gas.
And the Heat going with the whole new group on the floor. So we see the Rockets taking the win here. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Thanks for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time. But first, let's check out the Jordan player of the game.
Already spit into the rhythm of the piano, so now I gotta get a drummer song. Put the T up on the track, I'll be phenomenal, cause when it come to having a hit, I'ma make another one.
I get up every morning about 4:45. Work a steady job just to stay alive. Get home and go to bed about 9:45. Gotta go through it all over again.
Up early in the morning just to get a hold of that bread. There must be a reason why they call you with all that game running through your head. Work 2 jobs, but you don't do windows. Whatever you gotta do to pay the rent, though. Work all day, work all night. At the end of the month, that money's spent, though. Work it out, overtime. Hold down the house on the soldier blind. Making sure that check is signed. Next in line, yeah, do that work. Then you out to a dead-end job, but you ain't about though.
It didn't matter where you shot from tonight, everything was falling. Have you ever felt this confident about your shot before?
Oh, all the time, man. You should see me in practice. I'm surprised when I missed. Most of the time, the ball doesn't even touch the rim on the way in. It's not quite so easy in a game, but that confidence still carries over. I've always been a believer in my ability to shoot the ball. And that's one of the things that makes a player great. And I'm going to keep riding this streak while I'm hot. No sense in slowing down now.